Well, in order to get this grinder up and running, I need to install the splash guards. Trouble is, I started to do some work on these to do that, and they are just, they're trash. This is the only one that I can use out of all of these. This is actually missing about 1.5 inches of material off from here. This is cast aluminum. I would love to use this because it has that nice Covel emblem on there, but this thing is in such bad condition. I don't have the tools to weld that up. It's aluminum, and I don't have the tools to weld on new pieces of aluminum, and that's a lot of welding anyway. And all of this is eroded from sparks hitting it, whether it was dry or wet, and there might have been some water laying in there, and it's a mess anyway. So I'm gonna make a new one. This one looks sort of okay from this angle. Start looking at it from here. It's badly corroded. There's pieces missing. It's cracked. Again, it's aluminum. It's not worth it. And I also think that this is this is supposed to stand up vertically, and it doesn't. Everything's so distorted and bent out of shape. By the time I get done fixing it, I could have built a new one. So I'm going to make a new one of these. The back one, somebody, previous owner, a piece of aluminum angle and a piece of sheet steel, put it in like so. I suppose it worked okay, but you know, we've got a piece of steel here, a piece of aluminum here. They're two separate pieces. They had to caulk them. And I cleaned all this up because I hadn't intended to use it, but I mean, this was caked with caulk. It looked like they'd caulked it 2 or 3 times, which means they were having trouble with it leaking. So I'm not going to do that. I'll make another one. So out of the 4 sections, this is the only one I can use. It's actually in pretty decent shape, so I'm not going to mess with it. It's aluminum, but you know, I think if I get it cleaned up and a good coat of paint on it, it'll be fine. Probably last as long as I live. So anyway, that's the idea. I'm making splash guards for the Covel surface grinder. I'm just prepping for welding. I've pre-drilled the plates and angle brackets, and just gotta shine these up a little bit so that I can weld and then eventually paint. So. It's a new year and back to the grind. Here's to 2021. I don't know how well you're going to see this. This is the back splash guard for the Covel grinder. I'm going to weld these pieces in place and here. Once they're welded in place, I'm going to stitch weld the rest of this, and then I'll use epoxy to seal the gap between the two, and then I'll paint everything. I'm not going to run the camera while I'm welding because I don't want to damage the camera. I don't know if it'll damage the camera, but I don't want to find out. So, got my Hobart handler 140 set at voltage level 3, whatever that is, and about 45, well, wire feed is set at 45. And I don't know if that's inches per minute or what that is, but it's set at 45. Anyway, so there we go. Well, welder I ain't, but it's good enough for a caveman. that'll get hit with a wire wheel, then I'll epoxy and fill in the gaps so that I don't have any leaks and getting, and rust issues, and then I get to paint it. I'll let it cool off and I'll show you where it goes. Well, this is part of the front assembly. This is welded at a 45. Did a better job of welding on this than I did the other. Still not a professional job, so, but it's good enough. I've dusted it off with a wire wheel to make sure everything's okay. Still have to do some work on the ends. I've got to make an angle bracket that comes down off there to close up the gap. You'll see what I mean when I take this over there to the grinder. I'm going to take it over just now in a minute and show you how that goes. I suppose I ought to clean that up on the angle grinder too. I do like my Fireball squares. These are the mini squares. Fireball tool. Decent guy. They're the least expensive ones. They're smallest. They're aluminum. I don't need the big ones for what I do. These are great. Let's just say it that way. They're great. No, I don't get any kickback on endorsements or anything. I got no affiliation with Fireball tool. But they're great. If you can afford them, get them. Save you a lot of work. These are great. Did I say they were great? Let me say it one more time. They're great. So, yeah. Put these aside. Hit that with a grinder. And then pick up my tools. Take you over to the other side. Well, that's this piece welded up. Yeah. Structurally it's okay, but a grinder and paint. Anyway, however, this is where it goes. It replaces those pieces that took out of the back. I'll have to put something in over here to close up the gap. I'll show you that. This see that gap here, I'll put something in there, piece of sheet metal, just to close it up. Tonight I'm going to use epoxy to fill in all these gaps. Really didn't want to weld that entire seam, that whole length. Just didn't think that was a good idea on this piece. But hey, I'm not a pro welder. Somebody else might have done a better job. Whatever. It'll work. But I'll get it. I'll put some epoxy in there. I'll fill these gaps and I'll smooth this out a little bit. And it'll work. And I'll get it ready. All that is just prep for paint. So, epoxy and paint, and this one's done for now. Okay, this is how this goes in. I need to close up a gap here, so I've got to put a piece of angle right there. Not a piece of angle, an angular piece right here. And I have to do the same thing on this end too. Just to close up the gap so I can seal it. And then I have to make up a couple of hinges or buy a couple of hinges, mount them here. I need a piece that closes up and goes straight up this edge. The reason why this angle is here is because I have to be able to get in here and move these stops. And as you can see, one has a nut on it, and another has a lever on it. And this lever has about 4 washers under it. So there's a couple of things I need to fix. But one step at a time, I'll get it. But this is coming along. Well, I can get this sorted out pretty well. I'll have it so that it comes down inside here, so coolant runs down on the inside instead of on the outside, as much as I can. I'm sure that I'm going to find some things that I don't like, and I'll have to change them, but this is a good start. So. Anyway. Tomorrow's job is this part.